Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to another episode on today's live session. My name is Elizabeth Akiniji, and I'm not going to take much of your time today because I have some things I want to do, but I just had to do this live, so I'm going to speed everything all up. And what I want to talk about today is how you can actually protect yourself from further emotional abuse after a toxic relationship by setting boundaries. So, what I want to talk about today is something that will help you protect you from further pain and help you to actually choose yourself over what any other person or any other thing that might be going on around you. So the purpose of today's class is to help bring you to understand that you come first and that you deserve to be protected and that you need to choose your peace over any other thing that happens. So let's go to what we want to talk about today. Emotional abuse, as subtle as it may seem, it has a very damaging effect on whoever it is that is being imposed upon. It's acts on your mind, it has on your nervous system, it has on your brain and will make you to start thinking and start seeing things. Why is this thing like this? I don't understand what is wrong. Yeah, coming. Okay, let me see. I don't understand what is actually going on here. Okay. Um, like as I was saying, I don't know why this thing keeps popping up. Oh my goodness, what is this? I'm sorry about that. I just had to. It's not actually going off. I don't understand what is actually going on here. Wow. Okay. We're back to normal. So, like I was saying, emotional abuse, as subtle as it might seem, it has a very damaging effect on whoever is being imposed on. When you are in the midst of let me say you have an abusive parent who constantly criticizes you. They tell you you are not beautiful, you are a bad child, you are a loser, you can't make anything good out of your life. They tell you those damaging words, especially maybe if you have a sibling that is doing so well and you are not as bright as your other sibling. Your parents will begin to compare you with the other siblings, saying, "Can't you see your sister? Can't you see your brother is doing so well?" It has an impact on you as a child because you keep hearing those words that you can't be as good as your sister, you are a loser, you are this, you are that. It has a damaging effect. It damages the mind. You can start suffering from low self-esteem, low self-doubt. You don't trust yourself. Sometimes I lead to resentment and anger and some other things that happen. So in that kind of situation whereby you are constantly manipulated, that's even the worst part. You are constantly manipulated, you are gaslighted, they make you look like as if you are making things all up. So they make their lies to look like the truth, and they make their truth they make your, I don't know, let me put it this way. They make their own lie to look like the truth, and they make your own truth to look like the lie. So you don't know what you believe anymore because they've been able to twist your mind to think or say you are making things all up. So most of the time, most people that actually go through this, they end up losing their reality. Some of them might be even losing their mind. They might not even know what they really want. Some might be living the life they don't want to live, all just because they want to please the other person. It all has a damaging effect on the mind. It has a very damaging effect on the mind. So in this kind of a situation, when you've been through a toxic relationship whereby you are being manipulated or you are being gaslighted, or in a sense you are being constantly criticized and you are out of the relationship, one thing you can actually do for yourself to protect yourself from such further harm is setting boundaries. So when you set boundaries, you protect yourself from people taking advantage of you or putting up with further harm on you. So that's one of the reasons why you set boundaries. Because when you set boundaries, you are choosing yourself first. When you set boundaries, you are teaching people how to treat you. This is the way I want to be treated. This is the way, these are the things I want, and these are the things I don't want. When you talk to me this way, it makes me feel sad and I don't like it. You communicate it to them calmly and effectively, without screaming at them, without shouting at them. You let them know the way they talk to you upsets you and you don't really like it. So it's a way to actually convey your feelings and tell people that this is what I want and this is what I do not want. So you set boundaries to protect yourself from anybody that might want to take advantage of you, or that might want to, use, they might not just want to impose their own things on you. They want you to please them. So you set boundaries to protect yourself from such people. And when you are living a toxic relationship, you're out of a toxic relationship, you are still in a vulnerable state, you are still weak, and you are going through the healing process. It's important for you to actually know what your needs are. What are the things that you like and the things that you don't like? What are the things you love and the things that you don't love? So you need to find that out. So it is from there you'll be able to set your boundaries, you'll be able to set your limits. You know your limits. What are the things you can take and the things you cannot take? So that is the time for you to sit down and think about it. So with what you have known about yourself, you'll be able to set boundaries. You know the things that keep you safe and the things that do not keep you safe. The things that some people will do to you that you will feel fearful, or you will feel anxiety, or you will feel pain, you know them. So you set boundaries around them so people would not do the same thing to you. So that is one of the reasons why it is important to set boundaries to protect yourself from further pain after you've left a toxic relationship. So let me go to how can you set those boundaries. How can you set those boundaries so as to protect yourself? So I'll be telling you 5 different ways with which you can actually set those boundaries. The first thing you need to do is you need to identify your needs and your limits. You need to understand what your limits are, the things you can take, the things you cannot take. Like I said earlier, you need to find out the things that makes you feel safe, the situations whereby you feel safe, and the situations where you feel unsafe. When you are around some people, how do you feel? You need to know, you all need to understand that if this person talks to me this way, this is how I feel good. And if they talk to me in another way, I don't feel so good. So you need to identify what are your needs, what are your boundaries, what are the things that you love, that the things that when people do to you that will prosper your well-being, the things that will prosper your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, that will make you feel at peace. You need to identify them. So by identifying the things that make you feel at peace, it will be very easy for you to set boundaries around the things that do not make you feel at peace, things that disturb your emotional well-being, that distress your emotional wellness or mental wellness. So you set boundaries around them. Supposing if, let me use an example, you have a father, or you have a mother, you have a parent. Let's just put it this way: you have a parent who is actually toxic, or it's an abusive, or it's an alcoholic, somebody that actually puts you down. Let's put it this way: that maybe you have a parent that puts you down with their words. So, and those words really hurt you, and it became traumatic for you. And as an adult, your parents are quite dependent upon you. They are quite the clingy type. They are dependent upon you. In such a situation, when you're actually healing from the trauma as an adult, maybe as a young adult, you're now on your own. One of the things you can do for yourself is to keep your distance away from them. Keep your distance away from them. If you don't want to cut ties with them completely, keep your distance away from them. So maybe you want to go see them, maybe you want to see them, you can see them maybe once in a month or twice in a month. That is okay. And if you find out that going to see them regularly will actually cause you pain by the things that they say, it is high time you need to understand that you can actually call them on phone if they are not going to change. And if you call them on phone, they still find a way to verbally abuse you, hot times with them. Some family members are so toxic to the stage that the best thing you can do for yourself is to leave them. Let them be. Your peace of mind is priceless. They might be your family, but that does not change the fact that they are toxic and they are hurting you. So you need to know that and you let them go. So the second thing you can do when you want to set boundaries, you have to communicate your boundaries calmly and effectively. Since you now know what your boundaries are, you know where your pain, what your pain is, what makes you feel, it gives you emotional safety and emotional awareness. This is now the time for you to now, and you now know what your boundaries are. The next thing is you need to communicate that boundaries to people around you, especially to those who have actually abused you if you can't move away from them. Don't scream at them, don't shout at them, don't talk harshly at them, but calmly and effectively tell them, I don't like this. So instead of actually, when you want to communicate such a boundary to them, you don't use the you statement, you use the I statement. You make them understand that this is how you feel when they do this certain thing to you. So you express your own feelings to them, that when you talk to me this way, I feel pain, I feel upset, I feel upset when you do this to me. So you've been able to explain to them what exactly you were feeling. So it's not about you screaming at them, it's not about you shouting at them. Like the example I mentioned earlier, you went to see your parents, maybe your parents are the one that verbally, they always verbally abuse you, they constantly criticize you, and you went to see them and they start talking about your life and they want to start their criticism. You can clearly state it to them in a calm way that, Mom, Dad, I only came to check after you came to check for your well-being. I am sorry, but my life is not up for discussion. What I do is my personal business. What I'm here for is to check on you and to see if you're doing well. So please, let's kindly drop this discussion. So you've been able to communicate it to them and let them know that your life is not up for discussion. It's not for them to debate. So when you want to communicate your boundaries, you don't communicate it by being harsh. You don't communicate it by being aggressive. You don't communicate it by complaining or grumbling. You complete it. You communicate it effectively. Effectively, when I mean, you should be able to speak what you feel without feeling any kind of emotion, and at the same time you express it to them calmly. So that is the second thing you can do. So the third thing you need to do when you want to set boundaries, you need to make it a lifestyle. Don't just do it once and stop. It has to become a part of what you do every day. So you need to set boundaries continuously every day. So because every day you will still continue to go out, you will still continue to meet people, you will continue to see all sorts of people. You have your boss, you have your friends. They need to know where you stand, especially if you're the type you're always saying yes to everything they do. They need to know your stand. So you have to reinforce it every day. So by reinforcing it every day, they know that you don't want this, and with time they will have to adjust if they really love you. But if they don't really care about you, they will try to frustrate your boundaries, and that is where you need to know that you have to break the limit. It is time for both of you to distance yourself, because that means they were not meant to be part of your life. Because if they really loved you and respected you, they will respect your boundary and they won't fight against your boundary. So the fourth thing you need to do when you are setting boundaries is you need to respect other people's boundaries. Because when you're setting your own boundaries, you're having expectations that people will respect your boundaries. And when they don't respect your boundaries, you know you have to stay away from these people, because they will bring havoc to your life. So in such a situation, you have to respect other people's boundary. When people tell you no, take their no as their no. Don't try to force your yes on them. No. Understand them and let them be. So, and expect the same from them too. Because when they say no to you and you respect their no, it is also expected. It's also expected of them to also respect your no. So in a case whereby you are respecting their no and they don't respect your no, then there's a problem. So you need to understand that it has to be a 50-50 thing. You need to respect you need to respect their boundaries, and they need to respect your boundaries. And the last thing you need to do when you're setting boundaries after emotional abuse to protect yourself from further harm, the last thing you need to do to I've actually forgotten the last thing I want to say. The last thing you need to do to protect yourself from further harms is that you don't need to feel guilty. Yes, you don't need to feel guilty when you're setting those boundaries. You don't need to feel guilty when you're setting those boundaries, because some people actually, when they start setting boundaries and when their friends feel kind of hurt or disappointed, let me put it that way, when they feel hurt or disappointed, that is where they might start to feel guilty that maybe I'm too harsh on her or I'm too harsh on him, or I have gone too far. They might decide to start breaking down their boundaries. You don't need to feel guilty for telling anybody no. People are going to feel hurt, especially if they're actually dependent upon you. Because if you're the one actually saying yes to everything they do, so in such a way, you're actually making those people dependent upon you for everything that they need. So in such a situation, when you now say no because you are going through an emotional state in your life and you need to heal, in such a situation, if you say no and they feel upset, let them be. Don't feel guilty. You are prioritizing yourself first. You are choosing yourself first. You are coming first because you're choosing your own peace of mind. You're choosing your own safety over them, because you need to understand that you come first in everything. And it is only when you are emotionally healthy, you are emotionally capable, that is when you can actually take care of another person. If you're not emotionally capable, you can't take care of another person. So that's just how it is. So these are the 5 things you can do to set your boundaries. The first thing is you have to know what your boundaries are. You have to understand what your limits and your needs are. Secondly, you have to be able to communicate those boundaries calmly and effectively. The third thing is you have to make it a habit, a lifestyle, what you will keep doing consistently. The fourth thing is you have to respect other people's boundaries. And the fifth thing is you don't have to feel guilty when you set boundaries. If you can practice these 5 steps I have said so far, you'll be able to protect yourself from actually going into further harm when you want to move into another relationship or relationship with other people. Because emotional abuse is very subtle, like I say, but it is very damaging, and you need to take your time to heal yourself from all the pain that you've endured when you were being gaslighted, or when you were being lied to, when you were being deceived, when you were being manipulated. It has an impact on the mind. And one of the ways you can actually protect yourself is by setting those boundaries. So you set those boundaries so that such thing will not happen into your life. And one thing is, when you set boundaries, you protect yourself from toxic people, because toxic people don't like boundaries. Yes, they don't like boundaries. When they see you setting boundaries, well, you are actually giving them a red signal. You are telling them adios, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, and they don't like it. They don't like it because they want to come into your life to actually cause more harm and havoc. So when they see you telling them telling them, giving them boundaries, they are not comfortable with it. They are not comfortable with it. So when you set boundaries, you protect yourself from anybody that might want to cause you further harm. It is one of the things that I need to do. It was very difficult for me to set boundaries. It was very difficult for me to say no. But when I went through emotional manipulation, when I went through abuse and I know what it really is, I had to learn to say no to a lot of things. Until now, if you say this, I would, that no is always well prepared. I would always tell you, no, 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 no. Don't tell me this. I am not going to take this from you. And I stand by, because, and ever since I've been doing that, I've had my peace of mind. And I don't have to, nobody is controlling what I say. Nobody is controlling what I do. Nobody is controlling what I peace. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is peace of mind at last, being able to have control over your own feelings, over your own emotion. Nobody telling you what you're going to do. Nobody telling you how you're going to sleep. Nobody telling you how you're going to do your things. Nobody controlling you. And you know, there's a way control works. It actually creates fear in your mind. You start being afraid. And I'm still affected due to some controlling behaviors. I still have fear in some certain places, or when I see some certain people with that same traits, I feel kind of fearful. So when I meet someone new and I start feeling fearful, I know there's something about them that reminds me of that past. And that is when I let my my red lights goes on immediately. I'm ready to say that no, 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 because I don't want anybody to hurt my feelings again. I know what it pinches. I don't want to go through that emotional what is they call emotional baggage or emotional problem. So this is where I'll be stopping today, guys. I thank you for joining me. I never even knew I was going to use 21 minutes back. You can imagine. I never even knew I was going to use 24 minutes. And it's already 21 minutes already. I have to go now. So thank you for joining me for today's live session. I hope you got value for your time. And I would like if you could share this video with your friends. Let them see, let them hear what I have to say. Thank you very much. And if you're new to my channel, you're watching me for the first time, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell to get new updates when I make a new video. So thank you, ladies, for watching. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And to all my subscribers, I say thank you for subscribing, because I just had new subscribers lately. And I want to say thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you to the existing subscribers. And if you've not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and subscribe. So I'll see you in my next live session. Bye.